You know what's gangster to me? Is to live the way you want to live.
Yo, Lord Hybrid, my boy got them bands, bro.
And then I want to give an acknowledgement to my rich friends in the building. Shout out to Lord Hybrid.
Shout out to Lord Hybrid.
Nigga got money.
And the woman gonna know, okay, he got something. He pulled up in the G-Wagon.
Ain't nobody slinging no dick in here but Big Daddy, because he's the only one paying bills.
Right.
What the fuck you know about what I need on my mind, motherfucker?
And Lord Hybrid is in the building.
Yeah. Boy, Hybrid back. Kind of energized this election season. This was my first time ever voting Republican. Even when Trump won, I didn't vote for him. I gave him money. And in the last election, I also didn't vote. I gave him money. But in this election, I felt that I wanted to take the opportunity to get to be able to say, for history's sake, I voted for Trump. Also, I did want to support him. I still gave him money. But I was motivated. I felt obligated. I kind of felt lazy, like I don't feel like going down there. But then as soon as early voting started, I just went straight there that morning and voted. I had a nice time in line with some really nice people who were all mostly voting for Trump. But the truth is that what's happening is the money, because the Supreme Court, I forgot that thing they did, but it pretty much allowed unlimited money into politics. So now money has taken over politics. So now the new model is basically a billionaire or a group of billionaires sponsors a politician, and then really they have lots of control. Now, with Trump, you're not going to have total control because Trump's not a chump. Trump is a real leader. But you present what you want from Trump. If it's something that he agrees with and he accepts your money, he's going to let you do it. And the most influential person over Trump will be Elon Musk, because Elon Musk has contributed over $100 million to his campaign. His campaign has basically financed it. Not only that, Elon campaigned as well and was holding separate campaign events at the same time that Trump was campaigning. So he was using his star power to draw people in, and he got a lot of young, you got low testosterone guys, you got masculine guys, but you got like techie, nerdy guys that are masculine. They might not be high testosterone, but they're not low testosterone. But these guys are in attack, like Marcus Brownlee, who's a big time YouTuber. He's not feminine, not overly masculine, but he's masculine and he's techie. And one of his heroes is Elon Musk, and he's interviewed Elon and Bill Gates. He's big time. But there's millions of dudes like him, Indian dudes, black dudes, white dudes, all kind of dudes like that. Elon, and they're intelligent, highly intelligent. Elon's drawing those kind of guys in. because people are obsessed with the SpaceX, the Starlink. You know what I mean? He just landed a rocket back, standing up straight. So there's a lot of other people that he can attract that will come to see him, and then they hear his message. And, you know, basically our election is dueling billionaires. So it's basically Elon Trump running against Mark Cuban. And Elon Musk is a lot smarter than Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban thinks he's smart, but Trump's billionaire happens to be the richest man in the world, who's running simultaneously some of the world's largest public and privately owned businesses, such as Tesla, Starlink, SpaceX. These things, SpaceX and Starlink and Twitter is private, and Tesla's the biggest, most valuable car company in the world, definitely in the United States. Dueling billionaires. So that's what we have. So when Trump gets elected, I like what that one lady said, that it was gonna be like having 6 presidents. And that's real. PBD podcast. Shout out Doghouse and shout out UFO Kamikaze. But yeah, so I'm excited about the Trump victory. Because I know pretty much what President Elon Musk, his main objective is.
Interest payments on the national debt are now higher than the Defense Department budget, and growing like every month. So it's not like basically we're on a path to bankruptcy. America's on a path to bankruptcy. So we have to cut government spending, or we're just going to go bankrupt, just like a person would if that overspends.
So Elon is focused on. He basically said, I want to create a government efficiency board to go in to the government. You know what I mean? To me, that's one of the most important things to me, as far as, you know, I think the government is bloated, is out of control, is drunk on money, and it's turned into its own entity. And then and it's just sucking more and more money out of us, and it's just messing everything up. It's too big. So knowing that that's his primary focus, I know that I'm glad he's gonna be president. So President Elon Musk, he did it the billionaire way. You know, he's not qualified to run for president himself because he's born in South Africa, so he's not a native-born American citizen, even though he is an American citizen. So he can't run based on the Constitution. So he makes himself a centibillionaire, meaning over $100 billion, and he bought somebody to be the president for him that he can control. Did it the billionaire way, rich nigga way. You know what I mean?
When you look at what Lord Hybrid is saying, he's right about all that, really.
So when we look at Trump, we already know what Trump is about, because when he speaks about Elon, he speaks about what Elon wants.
With Elon, here's a theory, and he's right, that there's unbelievable wasted fraud. Like, I saved much more than $1 billion when I came into the White House in one day, when I said I'm not going to pay that much to Boeing for Air Force One. And they ended up taking much more than $1 billion off the price. It took about a couple of weeks, saying I'm not buying it. No, I don't want it. But there's a plane that you're saving much more than $1 billion. And you've got thousands of things like that. Not as much, and in some cases, much more. They're building an aircraft carrier, the Gerald Ford. The thing came in like at $20 billion for a boat, $20 billion. And it doesn't work because they decided to use electric catapults that throws the planes off instead of steam. They decided to go electric. Why are they people that going all electric? By the way, I'd end the electric mandate on cars day one. You should have electric, but you got to have gasoline. You got to have everything. That'll come off on day one. Many things will be done on day one. Your head will spin when you see what's going to happen. The stupidity. But what I like about Elon, you know, Elon's a great cost cutter. And Elon thinks he can cut the costs of our government by $2 trillion. Thank you very much. That's the entire deficit, you know, because it's now at a level. By the way, we have the biggest deficit we've ever had under this stupid group of people. But he thinks he can cut $2 trillion without affecting anybody, just through, and I think he can do that. I do. I believe that.
I mean, this bromance and this masculinity stuff.
Yeah. So Elon said
interest payments on the national debt are now higher than the Defense Department budget, and growing like every month. So it's like it's not like basically we're on a path to bankruptcy. America's on a path to bankruptcy. So we have to cut government spending, or we're just going to go bankrupt, just like a person would if that overspends.
Yeah. So Trump know what's up. So basically he was like, yo, Trump, the government is the problem. Got to cut that. You know, I'll pay for your thing, don't worry, but let me get in that government and let me do Twitterize the federal government. He was like, I'm cool with that. Cutting them, of course. They the ones fucking me up. They the ones sending me to jail. They the ones blocking every damn thing I do, politicizing everything, stealing all the money, making all these bad deals. Hell yeah, go cut those niggas' jobs, get rid of them. So, like I said, it's a different type of level of control. But yeah, Trump is not a pushover and a dummy like Kamala. Like Kamala don't, know what to do. And so when the President Elon Musk speaks, he stay on code and they got that agreement. I want to cut the government. Okay. He's not talking about foreign policy. Elon ain't talking about nothing but cutting the government.
All right, I've only got one question for you, and then I'm getting out of here because this is your stage. But we set up Doge.
Yes.
How much do you think we can rip out of this wasted $6.5 trillion Harris-Biden budget?
Well, I think we can do at least $2 trillion.
Yeah!
Yes.
$2 trillion.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're being taxed. You're being taxed. All government spending is taxation. So whether it's direct taxation or all government spending, it either becomes inflation or it's direct taxation. Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that. We're going to get the government off your back and out of your pocketbook. And America's just not just going to be great. America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing. Now,
you know what I'm saying? Yo, Elon, these is like all of the smart young people, all of the really smart young people look up to Elon. I'm talking about people in their 20s and 30s and probably late teens. The future software engineers and people that's going, super smart people. And they cheering Elon like he the president. Oh, word. UFO Kamikaze. Shout out to my people, man. I see you out there, Doghouse. My boy UFO Kamikaze. Salute. My boy Eagle Eye. Candace gonna be on PBD. Wow. I didn't think PBD would have enough balls to bring her back. I'm glad he doing that. But yeah, you see Elon. Elon is talking about cutting the government. Yo, I'm so that look, it's because of Elon and Vivek that makes me excited. That gave me because keeping those two, those to me, those are the two that's focused on the thing that's most important to me, and it's exactly what he just said. So Vivek and Elon, they're the closest to with Trump, and they're doing the most important work because Trump wants some cutting done too. So yeah, you hear how they cheering this guy, man. They're cheering Elon like Elon is the president.
Now, you guys are awesome. Honestly, this is like, yeah. I mean, this is the kind of positive energy that America is all about. Yeah. USA, 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 USA.
I mean, this bromance and this masculinity stuff.
Yeah, man. That's your president right there, President Elon Musk, and I'm comfortable with him being my billionaire president. You know what I mean? So I'm comfortable with their message, and we can't never forget the words of our great philosopher, our highly intelligent brother, our truth telling brother, I keep it real brother, Brother Oskino.
Kamala, I don't know. I think she. I don't. She's a lie. First of all, she got caught lying about her grandma. She got a book she got, but it's supposed to be staying next to her grandma. Her grandma died before she was born. That's not even her grandma. So you lied about something that's small, something like that. That's just somebody can find out that you're lying. What you won't lie about? I mean, I don't like the way she had like Megan Thee Stallion. Like that's almost like she's saying like anybody. I can get these rappers to come up here and this is automatically gonna vote for me. I don't even care about politics, but I'm like, people see through that. Like I mean, plus I don't think. I don't even want to say this on camera, but I just think that a man should be president.
I mean, this bromance and this masculinity stuff.
Yeah, we can't forget about this brother and his quotes and his realizations. We gotta always remember Oskino. But this is the other reason why, like I think this guy's even worse than I think this is the guy I ultimately want to see be president, and I think he's even more extreme than extreme is like he really wants to get at the government and really depower it. That's what it needs: defunding and depowering.
Can't even answer what it means to be an American today. We're in the middle of a national identity crisis. Faith in God, patriotism, hard work, family. These things have disappeared only to be replaced by wokeism and transgenderism, climatism, COVIDism, depression, anxiety, fentanyl, suicide. These are symptoms of a deeper void of purpose and meaning in our country. And right now, we need to step up and fill that void with our own vision. Answer, what does it mean to be an American in the year 2024? It means we believe in the ideals of 1776. It means we believe in merit, that the best person gets the job regardless of their skin color, that you get ahead in this country, not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character and your contributions. That's why we're done with the woke DEI agenda. Bringing in meritocracy to America. It means we believe in the rule of law, and I say this as the kid of legal immigrants to this country. That means your first act of entering this country cannot break the law, and that is why if we've had the largest influx of illegals into this country in American history, we will have the largest mass deportation in American history. That is not racist or xenophobic. That is what it means to stand for the rule of law in the United States of America. It means we believe in self-governance, that the people we elect to run the government, for God's sake, ought to be the ones who actually run the government, not unelected bureaucrats in the deep state that are running the show today. So you want another mass deportation? Let's get 3 million federal bureaucrats out of the D.C. bureaucracy. That's the mass deportation that saves the country.
I mean, this bromance and this masculinity stuff.
Yeah, man. That guy right there, he's me and him. And these are capable people. Like I said, I'm not here to sell anything. That's the politician's job. I'm just saying what I see and what my preference is. And like even the way, well, speak to the capability of the people. Robert F. Kennedy, the guy knows the law and all of the creepy stuff the government been doing, the pharmaceuticals, he's been suing them his whole life. So that guy is capable. He's gonna be a good person. Like he need to get the job Fauci had and just clean that shit up. He'll be happy to do it. You know what I mean? Get him get him over everything. Like I think NIH is over the CDC and FDA. Clean all of them places up, so we don't have a corrupt, fake pandemic forcing injectables onto the population and making us pay for it. Crazy. So yeah, I think Vivek is very important piece of this. Very important piece of this. I would have supported him over Trump just for those reasons, because Trump wasn't really talking about that. And I didn't think it was a priority of his because he was more focused on growth and trade. But having Elon there on his mission, this guy spending $100+ million just to get to the government so he can clean it up and cut the fat. And so the way that you've seen the way Trump's billionaire talks about Trump, he stays on message. We're gonna cut the government. Look at how Kamala's billionaire talks on her behalf.
I'm looking at an NBC article from our corporate parent that just says, I guess at an Arizona town hall meeting, when you were asked about the possibility of unrealized taxing unrealized capital gains. You said if you really thought that the vice president would do that you'd campaign against her. So I guess that was a true comment you made. And then my follow-up
So what
question,
I said was, you know, I said it's not going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen. If for some reason she lied about it, I would campaign against her so there wouldn't be a second term.
Okay. Then what I was going to ask you is, and I'm not going to go through, these are like, there's like 20 things, but I'll just pick out a couple that I think would be really scary. If she were to try to abolish the filibuster, if you knew she was going to do...
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Next.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
You see how he talks on her behalf? It's like he talks against her. And then the things where they differ, he's like, oh, it's not gonna happen. Nope. She ain't gonna do that. Absolutely not. Listen.
Hey, Mark, I'm looking at an NBC article from our corporate parent that just says, I guess at an Arizona town hall meeting, when you were asked about the possibility of unrealized taxing unrealized capital gains, you said if you really thought that the vice president would do that you'd campaign against her. So I guess that was a true comment you made. And then my follow.
Yeah, so you tell your presidential candidate, you think you're gonna hear Elon Musk talking to Trump like that? Well, if you don't do what I tell you, I'm gonna campaign against you, and I'll make sure you lose, or I'm gonna punish you. You're not talking to Trump like that. Yeah, this dude is that's a little threat. Like, if you get out of line, I'm gonna go against you if you get in there.
So what I said was, you know, I said it's not going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen. If for some reason she lied about it, I would campaign against her so there wouldn't be a second term.
That's so stupid. That's why this guy's a total fucking dummy. Okay? Because he's basically telling the world that she's lying to them. Because she's going out and saying, we're going to tax unrealized gains. We're going to end the filibuster, because he's saying, no, that's not going to happen. And if she's lying to me, meaning she told me that she's not going to do that, but she's going out there telling the people this. So he's revealing that this woman is a liar because he's so stupid. If you're the money guy and you're in control, if you're going to say something, have one specific message and never go against the president. And never talk about you're going to punish the president if he doesn't do what you say. Okay? So you're making her look like a puppet. Elon goes out there and just say, we're going to cut the government $2 trillion. Yeah, America, it's going to be great. Yeah. Trump saying the same thing. You're never going to hear that billionaire. So a dummy like him, if he want to control her, he's supposed to just let her tell her what he want, pay the money, and don't talk. Because then you could just shut up, because it's like, yeah, she going out there telling him what she got to tell him. But I know she ain't doing that, because I ain't going to let her do that. She knows she ain't doing that. She just telling him that. Yeah. So he should just not even be talking. He's a dummy, and he's helping her lose. And he talks to absolutely not. That's not happening. It's not gonna happen. I'm like, I thought she was the president. You sound like you the president.
You know, I said it's not going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen. So what I said was, you know, I said it's not going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen. If for some reason she lied about it, I would campaign against her so there wouldn't be a second term. You know, I said it's not going to happen. You know, I said it's not going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen. If for absolutely not going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen. If absolutely not going to happen. If absolutely not going to happen. I said it's not going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen. If for some reason she lied about it, I would campaign against her so there wouldn't be a second term.
Okay. Then what I was going to ask you is, and I'm not going to go through, these are like, there's like 20 things, but I'll just pick out a couple that I think would be really scary. If she were to try to abolish the filibuster, if you knew she was going to do...
Yeah, I don't agree with that. No.
Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, that nigga's dumb. But he's controlling, and it just shows you the difference in levels of respect and how malleable and how weak and how much of a puppet she is. She just out there blabbing hope in women's rights, reproductive, and it's gonna be tolerant and joy. In the meanwhile, he back there telling her, look, you ain't gonna drop them rates, you ain't gonna do this, you can go out there, get out there and tell them what you gotta tell them. And I come from a middle-class family, and I'm just like you. Whether you're white, black, Indian, kid, grown, old, young, I'm just like you. And she just telling the bullshit. And this dummy, this guy, the sad part is he thinks he's smart. That's the sad part. But he gonna find out he's a big dummy tomorrow because Trump's gonna win. So yeah, man. That's mainly it, man. I like Tulsi Gabbard. I would like to see Tulsi Gabbard be like, because Tulsi Gabbard is a military. She's current military. Then she serves in the reserves or in the National Guard. She's a war veteran. She's anti-war, but she's serious about war, not weak, but anti-war. She's gonna try to use diplomacy, and I would love to see her put over like the Joint Chiefs of Staff, you know, whatever the top motherfucker is in the military. Give Tulsi that job. Yeah, Tulsi ain't having the bullshit. And like I said, I wanted to replay something I said, because this is something that I really think is black people, we got fucked. 20 million more dead. We offer you 20 million more dead babies. Exactly. Let's kill more babies, especially the black ones. And the thing is, you know, I hear Coach Greg, he say it, and it's true, that the look, if we had another 30 million black people, the ones that got aborted, we would have more voting power. So they feminize with the feminist ideology so many African or black women, black American women, and they see it as independence and power. They're eliminating the whole generation, and now with the addition of 20 million migrants, that diluted our vote. That's why they want to rush to legalize them, and they fight to try to get them, keep them on voter rolls and stuff like that, give them benefits. So when the thing happened, like the Latino population is still growing because they still more family oriented than black people, especially like Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, they come from real families and their families still together. Blacks are 72%, 73% single mother. So that's not even a real family. You're just in the project somewhere with your single mama just wilding out. So they feminized, affected our women with the feminist mentality, encouraged abortion on them. They took down, they prevented 30 million black births, and they're fighting to do that more, but they don't understand they're diluting our power. That like $30 million, 30 million people, that's a whole nation of people that got aborted. That's technically a genocide. That's a whole nation of black people that got aborted. And they're encouraging it. They're encouraging it, and they're going for it because they think it's empowerment. But then they get a degree, they get a job, they end up old and by themselves, like Letitia James, and they didn't reproduce anything. They didn't reproduce. Letitia James gonna end up in a nursing home because she don't have a lot of money. She might got that job. She'll get a decent pension, but she's not gonna have anybody. You know what I mean? She killed who she had. So that's something that we gotta understand. The black conservatives, and even the Lord Jamar is really against abortion. And we waking up to that, and hopefully we can wake the women up to understand what they're doing. They're literally destroying us as a race. Now we're diluted, and the evidence of that was when that joke was told at New York, Madison Square Garden in New York City. He told a black watermelon joke too, and nobody cared. It wasn't even mentioned in they focused on the Latinos, the Puerto Rican garbage comment, and they made that a big thing. But he also told a really stereotypical, offensive black watermelon joke. I mean, I don't care what that guy says. It didn't offend me, but it probably would have offended me 20 years ago. And I'm sure it offended blacks, but most blacks never even heard about it because they didn't care, because they're not a significant enough group, because we've been aborted away, diluted down, and the vote isn't really significant in most places. It's only a few swing states where the black vote even is matters. You know what I mean? And that's directly correlated to feminist ideology within black women. They have the most degrees of any women. I think that's what I heard. And they get their jobs, their degrees, and they just rebel. And they was like, I don't need you, nigga. And you don't get families. And then they abort all the babies. So they really got to our woman, took her from us, and we got what we got. So we've been diluted. We've been diluted by leftist ideology, and we lost control of our women due to government interference combined with leftist ideology. So this is where we are. That's one of them points that I think we gotta bring into the lexicon. A lot of good conversations start off in the manosphere or in the red pill space or whatever. One of the talking points that needs to get out there on a serious note is that we gotta help the women understand, the black women understand the damage that they've done through abortion and through making themselves unsuitable partners to form families with for us American men. And the combination of those things has diluted us as a race. We lost power. 30 million people additional, not only voting power, economic power. That's 30 more million black people to sell to, 30 million more black people working, millions more black owned businesses like mine, 30 million people who were supposed to participate never did. And so their decision to walk away from our traditional way of living and go out here and be independent, have, abort away 30 million of our next generations, they really damaged us. We have to make the conversation a big talking point, and we have to make sure that that talking point reaches women, and we let them know that if they don't change course, we're gonna. I mean, it's happened. The Native Americans went almost to nothing. There's populations in like the Jamaica wasn't black. Jamaica was a bunch of Taino Indians who don't exist mostly anymore. Mostly they don't exist. Same thing with Hispaniola, with Dominican Republic and Haiti is. It was a bunch of Taino Indians there. Now, a couple of 100 years later, there's zero there. None of the original inhabitants, none of the natives there. Now it's mostly African descended people, but some mixed with Spanish, but it's heavily African on that island and in other places in Central and South America where the native Indian populations have been decimated. It happened here, right here in the same continent. And the way we're going with the abortion, lack of family formation, and just the unviable offspring due to the fact that they're coming from broken homes. So I mean, who got the highest? Which race of people in America do you think loses the most prime young men age, mid to late teens up through 30? That age range across whites, Indians, blacks, Latinos. Which one you think the percentage has the highest percentage of those age men being murdered through gun violence? It's most definitely blacks. You know what I'm saying? So we're losing the most. I mean, I lost very close family members to murder before they were 30. Various, shot and killed or stabbed or whatever. So we're producing because we're economically at the bottom. Then we have the least family formations, which resulted from changes really that the woman made. Because the men are still down to do the same thing. So I'm just saying they need to understand that the culmination of all of these things, except in the leftist ideology, the feminism, many black women are lesbians. There's so many dykes. Like when I go downtown in the city, I see mad black female couples walking down with some dyke stud looking chick and another little chick. Lots of them. I see it. It's a regular thing. I see it all the time. Now they're not reproducing. They going the opposite, wrong way, opposite to productivity for us. So we gotta help. The masculine. I mean, now that we have a voice, we gotta really preach on the true big picture items, and we gotta educate other people other than just each other, ourselves as men, red pill men or whatever, manosphere, whatever you call it. Our message permeated out. Now the conversation about 50-50, the conversation about marriage and doesn't make sense, dating, everybody's talking about it. It originated here in the modern form, but now it's spread out and lots of men are adopting it. So we changed the men Now we got to change the women in terms of we got to let them see the damage that they do because everybody can learn. Most people caught up in the matrix. The matrix means you're in a program that you're just like a cog in a machine. You don't really understand the big picture. You just understand your little slot. So enlightening people and letting them know, look, if you look at a wider lens, you're being used to commit a genocide against us and we're shrinking. They're bringing other people in to replace us. Our percentage of the pie is shrinking. So that means we're getting weaker. We're losing people. We're losing voting power. We're losing economic power. We're disorganized. And where you fit into that is we can't form families because of you and your thing. And that's this being used against all of us. And you think they with you, but they're not with you. You always gonna be stuck with us. So we gotta preach that message. And our black conservatives are helping to reverse that trend. So anyway, still down. We still down with the. Just because we driving G wagons now and like my boy Crypto Task Force, he got him a brand new car and brothers is moving up. Some brothers, we still got to be caring about politically. I said a long time ago, all men need to unite under the under the Republican Party, and it seems technically with the Black conservative movement and with everybody, it seems like men pretty much took a big shift right, and I think that's what's going to cost Kamala the election. They're going to do every possible thing to cheat because there's people in the background in the government that don't want to lose power. And but I don't think they're gonna be able to cheat. I think I think Trump's gonna win. It's gonna be a strong win, and then we can fix our government and secure our freedoms for future generations. So salute to our black conservative commentators and influencers, whether they be straight politics, hip hop and politics. The sisters coming online that's doing it too. The black women just coming online. Conservatism is the thing that's going to save our country, because without conservatism and grounding and preserving our ways and norms, we get chaos. We get no families, single mothers, criminal children, less safe country, less safe streets, less smart people. And that's what's happening in America. And I see a shift. I see a shift going in the direction and the pendulum swinging. And I made a
Lord Hybrid is right.
Ago, we're going so far left, the pendulum is going to swing back right, and it's starting its descent back right. And
when you look at what Lord Hybrid is saying, he's right about all that, really.
We find a good common ground, and I think that's what Trump is. I think Trump is a good, he's not overly conservative. He's not a abortion ban. He believes abortion should be legal. I believe it should be legal, but I believe it should be modified. I believe that we should have something called father's rights. When my kid was aborted against my will or because of my body, my choice, my argument is no, it's not your body, your choice. It's you have your choice at the time of conception. And then if it comes to the question of a termination of a pregnancy, is not your choice, it's our choice. Because although that, the baby is housed in your body, it's not just your body, your choice. It's our child, our choice. So a woman should have to get a DNA test and get written permission from the father in order to be able to get an abortion. Because it's not just your body. There's another body inside your body, and I have 50% rights to that body. Or they like to say we they partners. Well, in business, when you have partnerships and stuff like that, I can't just say we gonna do this. If I had a partner, I had to get sign off from my partner to do anything when it comes to our common interest, which is the business, and within the relationship is the baby. We both are equal partners in that baby. Now, there's no other partnership to where they're gonna say, well, one partner can do anything they want over the property that they both own and control 50-50. It doesn't work like that. So, by sucking up the females and using incorrect words, reproductive rights, no. Nobody's reproductive rights are challenged. Anybody can reproduce. The right to terminate a pregnancy and trying to say that you have a constitutional right to do that. No, that's incorrect. Terminating a pregnancy involves a 50-50 partnership, which both parties have to make a decision on. And both must say yay or nay. Both must say, we want to end this pregnancy, and both have the right to refuse or to accept. It's not, you know what I'm saying? With exceptions, of course, rape, incest, and threatening the life of the mother, of course. Other than that, nah. Father's rights. You know what I mean? So to that person. So if you don't want that child, you can say, okay, have the baby. I'll take the child. You could just walk away. We need to have that option. Not saying that's an ideal option, but father's rights and all this my body, my choice is all about feeding women's egos. It's all dumbed down language, reproductive rights. No, it's abortion rights. And every child has two parents, and a father has rights. So that would be my position. Keep it legal, but a man should be able to stop the abortion of his child if he wants that child. There should be some legal room for that. And that's what I would advocate for. So anyway, salute. Yeah, Mufasa, that's a big issue too. Whereas they're really trying to fake do that as much as possible, but it's not working. That's why men are so gravitating towards Trump and Elon, because it's refreshing to see strong, masculine, male leadership. So when you listen to Vivek, when you listen to Trump, when you listen to Elon, these are real men. They're not those little soft talking men that walk on their tippy toes and have perfect hair. These are men who lead. I mean, Trump built a multi-billion-dollar real estate empire. Elon built many multi-billion-dollar companies. Richest man in the world, or straight business. And even Vivek, he built a billion-dollar company. And when he left with hundreds of millions of dollars. He's very close to a billionaire himself. So these are very capable men. all of them. So it's an exciting thing to have them. And when Fox was saying, did you see Roland Martin with the shirt on, said vote like a black? Oh yeah, I heard about that. This is what Dems want: black men behind black women following them. Yes. They want us following black women, and we know black women very well. I don't know no black women that I want to follow that's in my life. They got, especially the single ones, they ain't got nothing. They ain't got their stuff together. The ones in my family, nah. I don't trust none of them. That I wouldn't even let them run my business, let alone the country. Hell no. So and it's evident, especially with black men, when Trump went to the I got that video too. When Trump went to the black journalists, it was all women. They didn't even let the men speak, and mostly they don't let men speak. Black men, they don't let black men speak. On the left, that is. You're just supposed to get in line. Every talk show is a black woman blabbing, talking about brothers need to get in line and all of this stuff. And these dudes be just so soft and tippy-toed. Yeah, and that's what I had said. Eagle Eye, mandatory, need the DNA tested, DNA proven biological father to sign off. So in order for the man to sign off, there needs to be a successful DNA test. Then he can sign off. Unless she's married. Because if you married and your wife has sex with another man and have a baby for him while she's married to you, that guy got a free baby because legally, because y'all married, that's your baby. And you're gonna be on the hook for life for child support. So yeah. They need to change that rule too. But yeah, even when they had the thing with the journalists, the national black journalists, it was a bunch of black women harassing Trump and not getting no good information. I never even watched it because I said I'm not gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it on a live stream and just react to it live.
Those that are going to be participating in the government. Okay, the team that Trump is assembling is going to make his next administration unlike any other administration that we've ever witnessed in modern history. Okay, because the team that he's assembling is not a team of swamp creatures. Okay, it's actually a team of anti-establishment, America first individuals who want to transform this country into what we all know that this country can be, right?
And I think that's for me, that's what I'm most excited about. Why I'm really hoping that Trump wins is because the group of people that his core group, one good thing he did is he didn't allow, he got Nikki Haley away from it. Nikki Haley is a big time traitor, and she's jealous because she wanted that spot and she would have been able to put herself in a good position, but he got her away from him. So I'm comfortable with everybody is around him, and I'm most excited about Elon, because I think Elon's intention is to do to the government what he did to Twitter And that's what I think needs to be done. Somebody needs to go in there and clean. You know, he took Twitter, reduced the staff by 70%. And that's how inefficient it was. It had a whole bunch of people just there. He got rid of all of the fat and got it down to the core people, and he made the site better, added more features with way less people and a smaller cost and overhead. That's what he wants to do to the government. And that's also what Vivek Ramaswamy wants to do to the government. And that's what needs to happen, because I mean, they're hiring, the federal government's hiring like 40,000 people a month. So it's just going to get so big and big. Then they come out here and they say, you know, you're not paying enough taxes. If you make over 400K, we need more of your money. And I'm like, why don't y'all just worry about spending less money? That's never a conversation. So Elon and Vivek want to go up in there and slice. Look at what these people are doing. Get rid of most of them people. Let them go get real jobs in the private sector. Reduce our taxes and make better trade arrangements and stuff like that, so the country can pay off the debt and prosper. Will they be able to do it? I don't.
This web seminar is provided by uscivicstraining.org, George Washington's Farewell Address, Part 6, Debt and Taxes. And we'll take a look now at George Washington's salient points on this topic. First, debt. And we find ourselves in paragraph 30 of George Washington's farewell address that he gave on Constitution Day, and here are his sentiments on debt. As a very important source of strength and security, cherish public credit. In other words, don't ruin a nation's credit by having too much debt. Also, he makes the point, having low or no debt is a source of national strength and national security. Boy, this sentence right here is so relevant to the modern conversation that's needing to be had in the United States. One method of preserving it is to use it as sparingly as possible. In other words, do not make it a practice to use debt or deficit spending. Avoiding occasions of expense by cultivating peace. He goes on, but remembering also that timely disbursements to prepare for danger frequently prevent much greater disbursements to repel it. And so here he's making the point that spending for national defense in advance and having a strong country is more prudent than after conflict ensues, when it's more expensive to defend yourself. He goes on about debt by saying this, avoiding likewise the accumulation of debt, not only by shunning occasions of expense, and by shunning occasions of expense, what Washington is saying here is don't take on every pet project. The federal government's job is not to look for things to spend money on, but it's to be very cautious and to limit itself to its constitutional purposes in spending money. And so he continues the sentence by saying this, but by vigorous exertions in time of peace to discharge the debts which unavoidable wars may have occasioned. A couple of observations here. George Washington was a realist enough to know that there would be conflicts with other countries, and so wars and conflicts would be inevitable and would cause debts. But he says here that those debts that might be acquired during military conflicts need to be paid off as soon as possible, and not ungenerously throwing upon posterity the burden which we ourselves ought to bear. Again, a huge sentence here where Washington is describing the pure immorality of putting our debts on our children, grandchildren, and future generations. Washington would find himself in conflict with most government officials on this point in this day and age, and in society in general, that seems to be spend money now and to place those debts on our children, our grandchildren, and future generations. He says the execution of these maxims belong to your representatives. In other words, the spending at the federal level, government is a House of Representatives issue. They alone are accountable for the public purse. That's their role constitutionally, and they need to be held accountable. But Washington also observes it is necessary that public opinion should cooperate. In other words, citizens have to care about not incurring debt or pushing debt on future generations, but because if they don't care, then the House of Representatives and the elected officials will not be held accountable. And that's been the case in the United States for literally the last half of century, almost 60 or 70 years at this point, as far as the citizens' corporate concern on the accumulation of public debt. It's not really been existent. So those are Washington's thoughts on debt. Now let's join that with his thoughts on taxes that he picks up in paragraph 30. To facilitate to them the performance of their duty, it's essential that you should practically bear in mind that towards the payment of debts there must be revenue, that to have revenue there must be taxes, and that no taxes can be devised which are not more or less inconvenient and unpleasant. And so he's saying here in this paragraph that both to run the national government within its constitutional limits, there'll need to be some kind of revenue stream, and also to service debts, there'll be to need a source of revenue. Now here comes a really interesting sentence from Washington, that the intrinsic embarrassment inseparable from the selection of proper objects, which is always a choice of difficulties. What's Washington saying here? Well, he's basically saying it's embarrassing to choose what to tax. You know, at that time, there was no federal income tax that taxed workers on their earnings. And so during that period, they had to choose what product, service, import, or export they were going to tax. And so he's saying there it's kind of embarrassing to even have that conversation, because by taxing something, we're going to influence a certain group of people's livelihood. And so this whole process of taxes is a necessary evil of having government. Taxing is not a good thing. But he goes on to say it ought to be a decisive motive for a candid construction. And so he's saying, all right, so it's embarrassing to have the conversation, but since we're going to have it, it gives us a reason for talking about it so that it's out in the open. He goes on. What is also out in the open is the conduct of the government in making it. And what he's saying by this additional part of the sentence is the government ought to give exceptionally clear reasons for the tax, how it would work, and how it would be managed. And so these are just key observations of government transparency and an inkling of leaders that they should not look just to spend money that is in the federal coffers, but be really cautious and within constitutional limits to do so. Lastly, Washington concludes this section with the citizen's role, and he says this, and for a spirit of acquiescence in the measures for obtaining revenue, which the public exigencies, that is, the pressing needs, may at any time dictate. He basically saying this, that for citizens, if the government is honest, clear, and staying within its constitutional bounds in its responsibilities and not putting a debt burden on future generations, the citizens should assent or agree to the tax without protest. And so these are George Washington's sentiments on debt, taxes, and the citizen's role. I think Washington has a lot to say to all of us in this day. My name's Craig Seibert. Thanks for listening.
I think it's good to go back and listen to understand what America was formed to be, because they're supposed to whenever they take something from us, they're supposed to tell us why, how they're gonna manage it. He's telling America, future generations of America, you know, he's laying this knowledge down for us to keep America going. Now, a couple of 100 years later, taxing the hell out of us. These politicians talking about we ain't paying enough. If you make over 400,000, you ain't paying enough. We're like, well, why y'all spending so much? We can't talk about that though. So Elon ain't gonna have to talk about it. He gonna go up in there and Twitterize their ass. He gonna Twitterize the hell out of their ass. And you know who ain't gonna like it.
I mean, this bromance and this masculinity stuff.
She ain't gonna like it. She ain't gonna like what Elon got cooking in that pot. She ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? But hey, it's all good. Let me see. And I done had so many videos and so much stuff from the past that I had loaded up and I never did the streams. Let me see. While I'm searching, let y'all rock with this. My first nighttime ride in the G-Wagon. The power's pretty good, you know what I mean? Twin turbo V8, you know what I mean? Doing 67, it definitely don't feel like it. Pretty good. Steering, I gotta get used to the steering wheel. It's kind of small. But it's definitely, the torque is real. Like when you hit it, it's gonna push you back in the seat, man. So, yeah, I'm definitely liking it. I still love my Lexus. I still think I like my Lexus actually better, but I think it's because I'm used to it. As I get used to this more, it's not big as I thought it was. It's not like huge, but it's a good size. Whole lot of headroom. Definitely more than the Lexus. It's a tall vehicle, and I got my Lexus is lifted and still just as a taller vehicle, and it's not lifted. So I gotta say, you know, I gotta get used to it. This is my first European car, so it's little things that's weird to me. But it is a fun, pleasurable vehicle to drive. You know what I'm saying? And definitely get some looks. Definitely get looks.
As journalists, we use opportunities like these both to inform our reporting, but also to help voters understand the choices that they face in a consequential and historic election year. NABJ has partnered with PolitiFact to fact-check this conversation in real time. You can access that feed on social media using the hashtag NABJFactCheck. Again, the hashtag is NABJFactCheck. We have a lot to get to, and we do not want to waste any time, so let's bring out the former president of the United States, the Republican nominee for president, former President Donald Trump. Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rat.
Very first time getting it out on any state. And
district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money, they were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late, just so we understand. I have too much respect for you to be late.
Look, and this goes back to the statement by the brother Mufasa Shabazz. What did Mufasa say? This is what the Dems want. Black men behind black women following them. So a man, when you get an opportunity, this is why they want us emotional. They want us emotional so that we are so stupid that we kick ourselves in the butt. So we get this emotional woman who's supposed to represent us as blacks, and she gets an opportunity to sit down with a former and likely future president of the United States. And she insults him. And look, any man that's made it to these heights, they're not timid men, they're not soft men. He chided her. Her being late to meet with the president of the United States, or former president, or nominated candidate who has a likelihood of winning, to be late for that guy. You can't be late. A man wouldn't have done that, because a man knows about business. A man knows how you treat important people. And this is one of the most important men in the world, probably the most important man in the world, especially when he wins tomorrow. You send a woman out there to represent us. All in the media is women representing us, and it as black men, and they claim they represent her. That woman doesn't represent me. She doesn't represent most men, especially red pill aware men or red pill men, most masculine men. And my thing would have been, this is an opportunity. Of course, I'm not going to disrespect or offend the man, and I'm not going to jump straight in on his head. If there's some things where we think there's a disagreement or possible tension, we can talk about it in a respectful way. But you said these false statements, and you said this, and you hate these people. That's how you open up a conversation with a man who has trillions of dollars at his fingertips. A man who could provide opportunities for your community. You got this dumb broad up here representing us.
Couldn't get their equipment working, or something
Mr.
was
President,
wrong.
I would love
think
if
it's
you
a
can answer the
very
question on
nasty
your
question.
rhetoric and why you
I
believe
have
that
answered
black
the
voters
question.
will trust you with another
I
4
have
years.
been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act?
And for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir.
She deserved that chiding, and he's the man to give it to her.
And then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition of that? Give me a definition of that.
Sir, I'm asking you a question,
No,
a
you
very
have to
direct
define
question.
it. Define it for me if you would.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that she is
somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some Republicans have said?
I mean, I really don't know. Could be. There are some, and there are plenty. I know this lady right over there, Harris, is a fantastic person who just interviewed me at length. And we had a great interview, I think, and I heard you got very good ratings on that interview.
You told me it was the longest one of your life, so we had a good discussion. Look, I want to talk about why you're here today. I mean, it is not lost on us how divided.
There's no black men, or there's no black men journalists. Where's the man? Where's the black man? I always say, when I moved into this neighborhood, my neighbor's wife, she came over and collected some mail from the previous owners, and then some more mail built up. So I went to their house and knocked on their door. And when that woman came to the door, she said, "Wait 1 minute." She went back in the house and she got her husband. That's a trained woman that knows the proper order of things. Now, when you come into the black community, you got to talk to these women. Do these women talk to us black men to get guidance on what we want you to talk to with the president? No, you're going to some lefty media professor, NBC, ABC, or somebody, but definitely not us. So just because you share the same skin color as us, you supposed to be representing us. And so the one time we get to sit down and talk to the president, you're arguing with the president about nothing. You're not getting no information that you could bring back to us that can make us aware of opportunities. Like, yo, Trump offering this platinum plan. If you got a business, you can sign up. If it's minority owned, if you in a zone, whatever, you know what I mean? This is for us. No, you're yelling at the man, fussing at the man, just like you do us. You're fucking dumb. You don't represent us. Why is there no fucking man? And this is what you get with no man. This bullshit.
Divided we are as a country. And as you were coming today, we really got to see that we are divided along the lines of race, along the lines of gender. And there is this question of, in this moment where we are, why come here? What is your message today?
My message is to stop people from invading our country that are taking, frankly, a lot of problems with it. But one of the big problems, and a lot of the journalists in this room I know and I have great respect for, A lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell you that coming from the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. You had the best.
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a job. That's what it is. Anybody that has a job.
All right.
And
Mr. President,
they're taking the employment away from black people. They're coming in, they're invading. It's an invasion of millions of people, probably 15, 16, 17 million people. I have a feeling it's much more than that. And everybody's been seeing what's happened. The first group of people, the black population, is affected most by that. And Kamala is allowing it to happen. She's the border czar. She's the worst border czar in the history of the world. There's never been a border czar like this. She's never even essentially been. She said she was there once, but not the right part of the border. So she was a border czar. She's done a horrible job. These people are coming into our country, and they're taking black jobs and Hispanic jobs, and frankly, they're taking union jobs. Unions are being very badly affected by all of the millions of people that are pouring into our country. And one thing, as we discussed, many of these people are coming in from mental institutions, from prisons, from jails. They're gang members in other countries. Other countries are setting loose their prisoners. They're opening up their prisons and their mental institutions, and they're taking their bad people, drug dealers, gang members, and they're bringing them into the United States. And by the way, their crime rate is going down, and our crime rate is going to be a disaster.
Mr. President, I want to get into how you address some of the issues with black communities. And I say that plural because we live in communities of color that are different. We're not all the same. We don't vote the same. We don't think the same.
True.
It's not monolithic. So as you come here today, I want to talk about something that bursts, and this is the weight of the inflation on this country right now. The nonprofit Money Management International recently released data from its mid-year analysis that we have found a 52% rise in people who are seeking counseling for being in credit debt. They're paying for food that is sky high on their credit cards, and now they can't pay that off. The credit counseling nonprofit MMI, as I said, is saying now that they've seen surges that they haven't seen since we were in a pandemic of people in financial trouble. Much of that falls on the shoulders of single moms, single black moms, when you look statistically. Yeah. How do you turn it around? What's your plan for the black community when it comes to money?
Typical question from a woman. Okay. The problem is what she said. These black people, right? These black people, they're in debt. They broke. Now a little bit of inflation. They can't buy food. Black man over here buying G-Wagons. But these black women can't buy food. They ain't credit card debt. I'm 100% debt free. And it's most affecting single moms. Yes, that's the fucking problem. And in typical black woman fashion, and I'm not here to beat up on black women or women in general, but you got yourself in debt, and now you look in the big daddy government to say solve my problem. Your problem is you don't have a husband, and you have a child without a husband, and you so hard-headed, and you so independent-minded, and you don't have a husband, so y'all can't form a family. Because if you had a husband and you would listen to your husband, he wouldn't let y'all have no financial issues. But you probably, I want this, and I want to live my best life, and I want this bag, and you don't make enough. Debt, bigger house, bigger car, more debt. Then you tear up the family. So it ain't the problem that black women are in America. Every other group of people comes to America and has success. Africans, Latino, Mexicans, definitely Indians, Asians, whites been here. They still rich, you know what I'm saying? They're not saying there's no poor whites, but there's a lot of, most of the wealth is white, But for some reason, your black ass with your non-married single mother ass is broke. Always at the bottom. Now you done got all the degrees. You done went to all of the colleges, got all the degrees. Your ass still broke. But what? Your boy Lord Hybrid out here buying G-Wagons cash. So is it that you think I need a plan from President Trump for my finances? No, I got my own financial plan. But I'm a man. Even the brothers who might not be on my level, but the single men, I guarantee you the single men are doing better than the single women. Because the single man might not have as much education, but he's going to stay within his boundaries financially. He's going to be okay. I know lots of single men, they're okay. But most of the single women, when I talk to the black people, friends and family, people I know, most of the single women, now there's some single women that's doing good, but most of them are not doing good. So yeah, so you hard-headed, you come in here yelling at Trump, you disrespect him, you late, and now you come. The black women broke and they in credit card debt and they got kids and no man. What you gonna do about it? Since you want to go to your white daddy, Trump ought to say, yo, you know what? I'm gonna pick out husbands for y'all, and we're gonna do arranged marriages, and I'm gonna make y'all marry y'all man. You can't leave him, and if you do leave, you don't get no money. Since you want me to come up with a plan, because that ain't my thing to live. What you want me to live your life? Dumbass, broke ass bitches.
On the shoulders of single moms, single black moms. This is the weight of the inflation on this country right now. The nonprofit Money Management International recently released data from its mid-year analysis that we have found a 52% rise in people who are seeking counseling for being in credit debt. They're paying for food that is sky high on their credit cards, and now they can't pay that off. The credit counseling nonprofit MMI, as I said, is saying now that they've seen surges that they haven't seen since we were in a pandemic of people in financial trouble. Much of that falls on the shoulders of single moms, single black moms, when you look statistically. Yeah. How do you turn it around? What's your plan for the black community when it comes to money?
So, first of all, it's very hard to hear you for whatever reason because of the fact that they have bad equipment, because I guess, you know, this woman was unable to get the right equipment. But it's very hard for me to hear you, but I can hear every other word. It's very difficult, actually.
I mean, this bromance and this masculinity stuff.
Do the best I can with it. The inflation is absolutely destroying our middle class, our working class, virtually every class. Inflation is a disaster in our country. Inflation is a country buster. It breaks every country. And we had, in my opinion, the worst inflation we've had. They say it's 58 years, but I think it's much more than that. It's been devastating. And if you just take a look at a lot of things they don't include, like interest rates. Interest rates went from 2.4% to 10%, and you can't get the money. People can't buy houses. They no longer have the American dream. Young people, young black people, they don't have the American dream anymore. They can't buy a house. They can't borrow the money because of the cost of the money. They can't buy it because of the cost of housing, because of the cost to build it, because of inflation. Inflation is a disaster, and it's destroying our country, and it's destroying the black community probably as much or more.
So what do you do?
Than any.
What's your plan?
You know what we have to do? We have to bring down the cost of energy, and that's going to bring down the cost of inflation. This was all started with a bad energy policy by Joe Biden. By the way, just if I might, I was running against a man named Biden. You probably saw that. And he was losing very badly in the polls, and then he had a rather bad debate. I would say it was a bad debate. I would say it was one of the worst debates in history. And his poll numbers crashed. And instead of saying, you know, let's keep going and maybe something happens the other way, they said, oh, we're going to replace him. Let's just replace him. That's like you're in a fight, a prize fighter's in a fight. He's not doing what you say, let's bring in another fighter. So our whole campaign was steered toward him, and now we have to steer it toward him. But ultimately it's the same because they have bad policy. They have policies of open borders, unbelievable open borders, horrible energy policies. They want to get rid of, as you say, gasoline in cars. They want to get rid of oil. They want to get rid of efficient heating.
Mr. President.
Environmentally, what they're doing is killing our country. They're absolutely destroying our country. But the inflation is the thing that's hurting the black worker, the black population, and every other population within our country. Inflation is the worst it's been, I think, in over 100 years. And they'll fact check it. They'll say it's only 58. Whatever it may be, they don't add all the numbers. They don't add the really bad numbers, and you can check that too. But inflation, Harris, is absolutely destroying this country and the people in our country. Yes,
Mr. President, can I ask you another question
Yes,
that is also impacting black Americans?
and that's very clear now. Good.
I'm sorry?
It's very clear. I hear you.
Okay. So Sonia Massey, someone from Illinois, an unarmed black woman, was shot the other day in her home by a deputy sheriff. The deputy has since been charged with murder. You've said police would get immunity from prosecution if you win. Why should someone like that officer have immunity, in your opinion?
Immunity?
Immunity.
I don't know the exact case, but I saw something, and it didn't look good to me. It didn't look good to me. Are you talking with the water, right?
Yeah, well, police unions are not backing this person either.
Okay.
But again, why would...
They're going to be charging the officer. I guess they're charging the officer.
So why should he receive immunity?
Well, he might not. I mean, it depends. It depends on what happens. I'm talking about people that are much different cases than that. We need people to protect ourselves. And by the way, in Chicago, as an example, a few weeks ago, July 4th weekend, they had 117 shootings and 17 deaths. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. We need to have our police officers have the respect and dignity back. In this particular case, I saw something that didn't look good to me. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
So can you get a little more specific back to the immunity question? Who would make those
Well, right now, for the most part, people are protected by their unions, by their police unions, or by their police departments. But I'm saying if I felt, or if a group of people would feel that somebody was being unfairly prosecuted because the person did a good job maybe with crime, or made a mistake, an innocent mistake. There's a big difference between being a bad person and making an innocent mistake. But if somebody made an innocent mistake, I would want to help that person.
What would those exceptions be? What would determine
you
an
go
innocent
after
mistake?
somebody, and it's a very close call, and it's very dangerous. And you know, they have the policeman's life and woman is a very difficult thing, because sometimes you have less than a second to make a life and death decision, and sometimes very bad decisions are made. They're not made from an evil standpoint, but they're made from the standpoint of they made a mistake.
So I want to follow up really quickly. I find it interesting because you do talk about reining in prosecutors, especially when it comes to prosecutors that are prosecuting you. Why doesn't that skepticism apply to law enforcement?
Well, I've been prosecuted because I'm a political opponent of two people that have weaponized our justice system. I've been prosecuted. I just won the big case in Florida. Everyone said that was the biggest case. That was the most difficult case. And I just won it. Now, Biden has a similar case, except much worse. I was protected under the Presidential Records Act. Biden wasn't, because he wasn't president at the time. And he had 50 years worth of documents. And they ruled that he was incompetent, and therefore he shouldn't stand trial. And I said, isn't that something? He's incompetent, and he can't stand trial, and yet he can be president. Isn't that nice?
Mr. President,
but they released him on the basis that he was incompetent. They said he had no memory, and he was a nice old guy, but he had no memory, and therefore we're not going to prosecute him. I won the case, and it got very little publicity. I didn't notice ABC doing any publicity on it, George.
We cover you extensively, sir. I'd love to move over on to different topics.
I didn't notice you do any publicity on it at all. I won the case, the biggest case. This is an attack on a political opponent. I have another one where I have a hostile judge.
We have you for a limited time, sir. I'd love to move on to different topics.
No, excuse me. You're the one that held me up at 35 minutes, just so you understand.
If we can move on now.
Yo, Trump was putting his chick in her place, man. Yo, big old Trump, man. He just ain't got no back down in him, man. Dude is thorough, man. Trump is very thorough, man.
Now to the state of the race, sir. I want to get back to the campaign. Senator J.D. Vance is your running mate. He's had a lot of controversy lately, and I want to read you a few things that he has said in the past. He said the Democrats running the country are a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too.
Does that not sound like Letitia James in New York? Childless cat lady who's miserable, so she want to make other people miserable because she's miserable. Because she's old and nobody to go home to and no kids and no grandkids. She's 66 years old and all she got is that damn job.
He's not talking here about how great
Stop playing, man. I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm gonna remove it and then
Very first time I'm getting it out.
I'm gonna remove it and then see if I can bring it back. But if you listening to this interaction, they're not asking, they're just asking a bunch of got you questions. So they're questions that somebody in the media told them to ask. They didn't think about, trying to get some information and bring it back to black people about opportunities. You never hear nothing about no opportunities or, what could you tell us that, if you were in our situations, if you get back in there, what should we be doing? And, what kind of opportunities can we use in economic growth for ourselves? And none of that stuff. It's all a bunch of got you stupid, primitive questions. And it's a shame. It's a shame to not understand the opportunity that's sitting in front of you and to just be on your mission with your battery in your back to try to demonize the man or whatever your purpose is. Is not it's not about helping out black people or helping us be more informed or it don't seem to have nothing to do with that. Let me see. I'm trying to find that video again. Hold up.
Trump gets elected, I really do believe in my heart there'll be a race war. That's why this message is not just to black people. You know what I'm saying? This message is to everybody. This man is really trying to turn us against each other and put us in a situation. America messed up. A job of rattling America. When you move in fear, you don't have any leverage. The way I felt before is the way I still feel. Things have got too serious of a point. Seeing what's going on, white men like Trump need to be banished. That way of thinking is real dangerous. This man literally threatened the lives of us and our families about going to vote.
Stand back and stand by.
Stand back and stand by.
Yeah.
We're in a war. We're not taking this like it's a war. We're taking this like, oh, we're in a presidential election. No, we're in a war of love versus hate. The number one priority is to get Trump out of office. The tribe of people that have the responsibility and really should be scared to death of this man is white people.
Explain.
If this man is elected, we're not standing by no more getting killed. We're not scared of anybody standing up and standing by. We're on the verge of a race war. If people in America want a race war, they'll not vote. I'm an independent, first of all. When I vote, I try to do what's best for my community.
Let's be clear on that. You're not standing behind your decision to hold your vote anymore. You want people to go out there and vote.
It would be irresponsible of me to have us hold our vote hostage. But
shut the fuck up!
Moment go by, the world is watching, and not do everything I can to make sure that going forth that we're a part of the narrative, that we own our politics. And so I'm launching one of the boldest movements that I've ever launched, and it's called.
As journalists, we use opportunities. Lance is your running mate. He's had a lot of controversy lately, and people that don't have children should get less.
Party.
Okay.
It's time for us to have our own black political party, unapologetically. Because right now, if you look at the debates, we're not even a part of the conversation.
Not at all.
We're not a part of the conversation. We don't have any political power. We don't have any political leverage. And so we started our black party with some young, fearless black activists.
You ain't nobody.
This is the biggest threat and the only option that we have right now as far as making a change, taking our own self-responsibility and accountability to be educated and empowered with our vote.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
Unify behind a black agenda.
You ain't black.
Part of the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, you could be an independent, but if you black, you wasn't born Republican, you wasn't born Democrat, you wasn't born independent, you was born black. And we have to seize our political power because it'll just be more the same. Being pushed this way, being pushed that way, and we expecting
a different
result. But the definition of insanity is like doing the same thing over and over the same way, expecting a different result. And
He's a fag.
With us stepping up and really taking the responsibility and accountability to be a part of this political movement.
The hardest part of that is going to be getting other black people to buy into it.
This is not for all black people. You know what I'm saying? This is not for the scary ones. This is for the ones that want to move things forward and want to get to the smoke.
We don't claim you.
Hours on Instagram a day. If you could give Instagram that time, 15 minutes you could give to educating yourself. And our black party's that platform. So when we get down to the local elections, when we get down to the school board, we get down to the judges and the justices, that's so confusing for us.
As journalists, we use opportunities.
Played this game, this is another level of gangster. But I played this game before, you know? I started in 2004 with Vote or Die, and this is the evolution of that thought, of that empowerment, of that independence, of us taking self-accountability so we're not caught with our pants down like this election. You dummy! Song.
Hold up, let me ask you, what's the difference between Vote or Die Diddy and Hold Your Vote Diddy? And what occurred between those two phases that made the change happen?
I went through the experience of politics. I played the game with the Democratic Party. The people that I went and campaigned for, after they got elected, I don't feel like they really did anything to change the reality of black people. Like I was blessed enough to find God come to me and tell me my purpose. And he told me my purpose is to play a part in saving the black race. The Vote or Die Diddy was about politics and, trying to be supportive. And also, they kind of guilt us in the votings,
Shut the fuck up!
This is a transaction. This is the closest thing to the streets than the streets that I've seen.
That's why I don't think there's nothing wrong with asking these politicians for something for your vote.
Yeah, you can't keep on giving your power away for free. This is black insanity. We keep on doing the same thing over and over, the same way, expecting a different result. Now we in a trick bag, as my mother would say. You know what I'm saying?
Explain that.
That's old Harlem hustler lingo, is when you're in a situation, you're like in a catch-22. Between COVID hitting us and because we weren't organized for this election, we have no choice now to get Trump out of there.
Shut the fuck up!
Out on the interstate in 56. This is a twin turbo V8. You know what I mean? So it's not like you can't really now just cause I'm in traffic. But I've been driving it around town for a few minutes. This is my first actual drive in the car, so so far it's gonna take a little getting used to. I would say that my first impression is these mirrors are too small. I wish they were big mirrors. Definitely got when you hit it. You know what I'm saying? You hit it, you feel it. So the power's there. Decent for my Lexus is different. The brakes are really strong, and this is a 550, not a G63, which is the AMG version. So it's not super sporty, which I didn't want. If I wanted a G63, I would be driving one right now. But I didn't want that. I just wanted the G550 because it's more practical for everyday use, and it's actually a better off-road vehicle. Not that I have any. So far so good, man. So far so good. The Gelandewagen, also known as hybrid, and we about to go for the very first drive in the Gelandewagen, aka that G-Wagon that I just put in my garage. You see that right there? Beautiful vehicle. I ain't drove it yet. Just got delivered yesterday. So I'm gonna get my first little driving impressions of it. But we gonna see what this thing that I just bought and paid way too much money for can do. We're gonna see what it can do, man. But this is your boy, Lord Hybrids, Ladies Whip. We didn't trade nothing in though. We just copped this cash, of course. We don't do debt. We are 100% debt free. But it's been a great year for me. I made some really good pre-investments and reinvestments, and it's, you know what I mean? That's how we riding. So we just gonna see what it do, man. We gonna see what it do, fellas. Yeah, man. Just you know what it is, man. Believe in yourself. You can do what you want. You can have what you want. You can do what you want. And that's exactly what I do. I do what I want. So this is a little interior. This ain't no old high mileage and all that stuff now. So this we got the quilted everything, that massaging seats, everything. We got the carbon fiber. We got all that. So, you know what I mean? Your boy Hybrid, man. Being what these other niggas wish they was. And they can be, and I hope they do be. Because I ain't got nothing but love for you niggas.
And the woman gonna know, okay, he got something. He pulled up in the G-Wagon.
So yeah, this is my first driving. Love the sounds that the car makes. I'm gonna go slow and see if I can get a little torque, get a little punch. My first nighttime ride in the G-Wagon. The power's pretty good, you know what I mean? Twin turbo V8. I can't. I ain't got enough space. Doing 67, it definitely don't feel like it.
I mean, this bromance and this masculinity stuff.
The wheel is kind of small.
And the woman gonna know, okay, he got something. He pulled up in the G-Wagon.
The torque is real. Like when you hit it, it's gonna push you back in the seat, man.
Trust, believe in the Most High, and chase your dreams. I'm chasing my dreams. It's hard. If it was a plane, you're gonna experience turbulence. Yeah. If it's a ship, you're gonna go through some rough waters where rocky wave, big waves. Ride there. As long as you believe that your destination, you wanna get there, you'll do it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm living my dreams.
Lord Hybrid.
But it's definitely, the torque is real. Like when you hit it, it's gonna push you back in the seat, man. So, yeah, I'm definitely liking it. I still love my Lexus. I still think I like my Lexus actually better.
Nigga got money.
There's more. It's not.
Yo, Lord Hybrid. My boy got them bands, bro.
But it's a good size.
And then I want to give an acknowledgement to my rich friends in the building. Shout out to Lord Hybrid.
I got my Lexus is lifted and still just as
shout out to Lord Hybrid.
So
Lord Hybrid is right.
You know, I gotta get used to it. This is my first European car. So it's little things that's weird to me. Very first time getting it out on the interstate. And,
Come on, man.
56.
And you ain't black.
Twin turbo V8. You know what I mean? So it's not like you can't really now just cause I'm in traffic.
What the fuck is you looking at?
I've been driving it around town for a few minutes. This is my first actual drive in the car, so so far it's gonna take a little getting used to. I would say that my first impression
Get the
is
fuck up for $1 million?
He wants to fuck her.
bitch nigga. bitch nigga proof, nigga. Bitch niggas can't even hold on to me, nigga. It takes unintelligible focus. Ever since the morning I've awoken, I've been focused on getting my money. Got a couple of things I got to do, and it might sound funny, but I need to get with my consultant. He gonna teach me how to get this corporate credit. You better respect it. I done paid him 3 G's on his ass, so you know I'm finna really get it. And also I got brand imaging to make. Yep, I'ma send it over to my factory, so when they make my packaging, I get the cake. Make it look like a cornflake box, but better make you gotta buy it, nigga. It's gonna be good for you, to you. Nigga better understand, do you? Nigga, I'm trying to tell you what my mind be like. That's what my grind be like. That's what my shine be like. Yeah, I was at the Mercedes lot yesterday looking at that big Jeep, bam, bam, bam. You know what I'm saying? When I pull out it like bam, niggas gonna be like, damn, that nigga really is getting money. Fist over hand. And any mother.
Again with the money? Yeah, again with the money.
God damn, look at my pockets now. Started my own business. I done blew up for realists. Stacks coming in every day. On foreign islands is where the fuck I stay. Fucking foreign bitches, they be cooking, they be fucking, they be sucking. Man, it isn't nothing. I'm the motherfucking shit. Bitch, without you, I'm set free. I'm so damn high. You got to look up on the sky, cause I'm on a plane, that's why. To an international destination with no hesitation. Got bitches waiting at reception with invitations with my name on it, goddammit. I done turned my life to the shit. And guess what? I didn't need no motherfucking bitch.
You got left!
SP motherfucking I.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! It is you! I cannot believe it! Oh. Greetings, Your Highness! Greetings.
Please stop bowing, please.
Ain't nobody slinging no dick in here but Big Daddy, because he's the only one paying bills.
Right.
Because I told you last night don't be fucking smoking if you ain't got my fucking money. I told you that shit last night, right? If you ain't got my money.
But if you believe in God, believe in
SP motherfucking I.
believe in that, for real.
I want all the cars. I want all my niggas with the cars. I want all the hoes. I want all the jewelry. We popping bottles.
I mean, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
Doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it. That is a great quote.
Stay the fuck away from these hoes, the dumb motherfuckers. Like, god damn.
When you look at what Lord Hybrid is saying, he's right about all that, really.
Shout out to Lord Hybrid. Yo, Lord Hybrid, my boy got them bands, bro. Used to, Yo, Lord Hybrid, my boy got them bands, bro.
Nigga got money.
And then I want to give an acknowledgement to my rich friends in the building. Shout out to Lord Hybrid.
I told you this, nigga.
In business, the goal is for you to become independent and be the boss, take the responsibility, and also get the profit.
I ain't got no motherfucking boss.
SP motherfucking I.
I mean, this bromance and this masculinity stuff.
And the woman gonna know, okay, he got something. He pulled up in the G-Wagon.